What is the greatest movie of all time?
I mean, are we talking my favorite or just
Yeah,
definitively the greatest movie?
your greatest for you. What is your
My
favorite movie?
favorite movie of all time is
Yeah.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
The
Easily.
original. The
I'm
original.
obsessed. I've never even seen the imitations. I refuse.
Yeah. How are you in imitating the Wonka in the final scene, near the final scene, when Charlie walks in and he says, "Good day, sir." Can you do that?
He says, "You bumped into the ceiling, which now has to be cleaned and sterilized, so you get nothing. You lose."
He says,
And also,
"Good day.
so shines
I
a
said
good deed
day."
in a weary world.
Yeah.
That's a sweet moment.
Are you so in love with that movie that you can differentiate between the Oompa Loompas, or they're all pretty much the same?
I can differentiate. I've actually spoken with one of the Oompa Loompas, if you must know, and I watched the whole movie 4 years ago next to the real Veruca Salt,
Come on.
Julie Dawn Cole, who's now all grown up and living in London, and she came to my hotel and we watched it together. We decorated the whole thing with Willy Wonka apparatus, and we kicked balloons together like she does in that one scene.
Is there video of that? Is there video of that?
Yes, I'll give it to you. You can lay it
like
in
to
here.
see that. Lay it in
We
here.
sang her song. I Want It All. I mean, I peaked. That was it. I had peaked. It was my 50th birthday present.
All right. Based on that, I think I might know the answer, but let's say Charlie was not eligible to win. Of the other kids, who was most deserving?
Oh, wow. Well, no, it wasn't Veruca for sure. She was the worst.
Yeah.
Not a ghostess.
Arguably.
I guess I'd have to go with Mike TV. I mean, what did he do? Mike TV just watched a bunch of TV. Like that's really not so bad.
How's your Mike TV imitation?
I'm trying to think. He had a lisp, so you'd have to incorporate that.
Yeah.
Like, Dad says I can't have a real one. Not till you're 12, son. Something like that.
Not bad. Did you have a favorite of the grandparents?
Well, of course, it's Grandpa Joe. I mean, the other three just sat in the bed. They didn't even try to get up, so that was sad. But I do love the parents who are brought along on the tour inside the Wonka factory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's little lines that I just constantly throw out, like Rachmaninoff, you know, like, "You boil him up, I know it." There's so many great ones from that I could recite the whole thing from memory when I watch it. You know, like I know every line, and the bargain that my family makes with me is, don't do that. Stop doing that. It's annoying.
Now, I believe I remember correctly, you do not fancy yourself a singer. Am I right about that?
No. I think I have a decent speaking voice, and I have an absolutely terrible singing voice.
All right. The last thing I'll say about Wonka is when the elevator breaks through the roof, I chills every time it happens. Every time I watch it, just chills.
Well, Mark, and you know what else is so great? I mean, it's just, there's so much to love about the movie. I mean, I think one of the reasons I love it so much is because I watched it when I was a kid, and I watched it a lot after my dad died when I was 15, and it kind of reminds me of a time where, I don't know, I was just feeling connected with my family.
Yeah.
And it's about the, terrible people getting their comeuppance and good people getting rewarded for their goodness. So there's a basic morality to it as well. But the last line of the movie is Wonka saying to Charlie Bucket, "Don't forget what happens to the boy who suddenly got everything he always wanted.
Yeah.
He lived happily ever after."
Yeah.
And I think about that all the time. Like, if you just persevere, right? If you are a good person, if you don't chase false gods, if you just live by your own moral code to the best of your ability, I believe that last line. I believe it's possible.
It's the Wonka life lesson.